phrase is everywhere now. World War III. It trends in hashtags, it fills headlines, it echoes through late-night conversations. But what does it actually mean? And are we truly standing at the edge of it? History tells us that world wars do not begin with a single explosion. They begin with alignments. In 1914, the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand did not start World War I by itself. It triggered alliance obligations already locked in place. In 1939, Germany's invasion of Poland ignited World War II, but only because major powers were prepared, positioned, and bound to respond. A world war is not just a large conflict, it is a conflict between great powers across multiple theaters with global economic and military mobilization. That is the difference. So where are we now? The United States remains the world's dominant military power. Its alliances stretch across NATO in Europe, bilateral defense treaties in Asia, and partnerships throughout the Middle East. NATO itself represents 30-plus nations under one clause. An attack on one is an attack on all. That clause, Article 5, is the backbone of deterrence. But deterrence only works when everyone believes escalation would be catastrophic. Russia's position matters because it is one of the few states capable of challenging NATO directly. Its war in Ukraine already reshaped European security. Its military posture and nuclear arsenal mean any direct NATO-Russia clash would immediately raise the stakes to global levels. But Moscow has shown caution when it comes to direct confrontation with NATO forces. Why? Because the cost would be existential. China's role is different, but just as critical. Beijing is a rising superpower with global economic reach. Its military modernization is rapid. Its strategic focus remains the Indo-Pacific, especially Taiwan. If a conflict between the United States and China erupted, while tensions also flared in Europe or the Middle East, the world would face simultaneous great power confrontations. That is the nightmare scenario analysts discuss quietly. Multiple fronts, multiple alliances, no easy exits. But here is the reality often ignored in viral headlines. Great powers today are deeply economically intertwined. In 1914, globalization existed, but it was fragile. In 1939, economic blocs were already separating. Today, supply chains cross continents, energy markets ripple instantly, financial systems react in seconds. War between major powers would not just destroy cities, it would collapse global trade, markets, and infrastructure. And every leader knows this. That awareness creates restraint. The Cold War offers another lesson. For decades, the United States and the Soviet Union stood armed with thousands of nuclear weapons. Proxy wars erupted in Korea, Vietnam, Afghanistan. Crises flared in Cuba, Berlin, and beyond. Yet direct superpower war never came. Why? Mutually assured destruction. The knowledge that escalation would mean annihilation. That logic still exists. So why do fears feel stronger now? Because modern conflict looks different. Cyber attacks, drone warfare, space-based assets, economic sanctions, information operations. Conflict is already happening, just below the threshold of world war. This gray zone warfare creates constant tension without full mobilization. Add to that regional flashpoints, Eastern Europe, the South China Sea, the Middle East. Each one carries risk, but risk is not inevitability. For a true world war to begin, several conditions would likely need to align. Direct combat between major powers, formal alliance activation across continents, mass military mobilization, total economic war footing. At this moment, those conditions are not fully present. Tensions are high, competition is intense, rhetoric is sharp. But global powers are still calibrating, still signaling, still maneuvering carefully. History shows that miscalculation is the greatest danger. World War I was not planned as a global conflict, it spiraled. The Cuban Missile Crisis nearly crossed the nuclear threshold until back-channel diplomacy intervened. The lesson is clear. Communication collapses. So, are we on the brink? The honest answer is this. The world is more connected, more armed, and more technologically dangerous than ever before. But it is also more aware of the cost of total war than any previous generation.
The presence of nuclear weapons does not guarantee peace, but it makes total war irrational. The more likely future, according to many defense analysts, is prolonged strategic competition, regional wars, proxy confrontations, economic decoupling, cyber conflict, a cold peace rather than a hot world war. That does not mean complacency is safe. It means clarity matters more than fear. World War III is not a hashtag. It is not a trending phrase. It would be global mobilization, mass destruction, and irreversible transformation. We are not there, but the responsibility to avoid it belongs to every leader, every alliance, and every decision made in moments of crisis. History does not repeat itself exactly, but it warns. And right now, the world is